All right, you guys, so if you're here today, I'm going to be reading you a short story. This is a nonfiction story written by myself. This really did happen to me when I was about 15 or 16 years old, and it was published in Not Your Mother's Book on Being a Stupid Kid. And this is relevant because it has to do with shag. The title is Shagging is Hard. The hallway crept... Let's start over. There might be some mistakes. It's actually hard to read this all out loud without making mistakes. The hallway carpet leading into the school cafeteria was an emerald green mixed with puke brown and sky blue. I imagined that without the puke color, it might have been mildly pleasant. I was meeting Sarah, who had been my best friend for years, for lunch. My mother had always begged me not to hang out with such a bad influence, the girl who taught me curse words in 5th grade, and who bragged about watching R-rated movies. She liked to dye her hair and wear clothes that were undesirably bright. I knew I was desperately behind in high school knowledge, and Sarah was the only one brave enough to explain the dirty jokes and strange words that passed through the hall daily. My mom didn't understand all that. We took dance classes together, swing, Balboa, salsa, our first shag class, another form of swing dancing. It was what we did every day after school in a semi-shady downtown hippie club where we were the youngest participants. We had made college friends there and talked about it regularly. We figured it couldn't hurt being friends with older guys. Swing dancing was undeniably our thing, but shag was something new and exciting. As it turned out, also very hard. I had pretty much fallen over my feet the whole night, but one of our college friends, Ray, had taken to it quite nicely. He had danced like there was nothing to it. When I entered the cafeteria, I saw Sarah propped against the side of a wall on the far end. As usual, she was picking at her food like a bird and enjoying laughs with a large group of strangers. I sat down next to her, scooching her over. Our shoulders bumped awkwardly as we tried to get comfortable on the metal park bench. I usually started the conversations. I was talkative, but never one to talk during class, so when I could talk, I couldn't contain myself. "Last night was pretty fun," I said. Sarah didn't look up, but popped a grape in her mouth and gave me a funny face. I thought it was really difficult. Sarah again said nothing, but shrugged lightly. "Everyone seemed to be having a hard time except for Ray." "Oh, I didn't notice," Sarah said, still not paying attention. She was different at school, more popular. She had more friends than I could count, but for me, it was pretty much just her. "You didn't?" Ray was shagging like there was nothing to it. It just seemed so natural to him. Another girl at the table lightly coughed and eyed the rest of the people, who were now all paying close attention. I couldn't imagine why. "You didn't think so?" I asked Sarah, confused on why she was eyeing the others as if they were participants in a game show. I crossed my arms in front of me, ready to defend myself, but also intimidated by the onlookers who were suddenly intensely interested. "Well, I think he's great at shagging." Sarah lurched forward in an uncontrollable laugh, her body leaning into the metal picnic table as her hair lightly grazed over her food. "What? Truthfully, Sarah?" I lightly smacked her arm. "He was the only one I shagged with where it felt right. He was really good at it." Sarah motioned with her hand as if she were a football coach trying to call a timeout. From the Snickers on the other side of the table, I'm certain my face was turning a soft shade of scarlet. But I didn't know what I had done wrong. Sarah had managed to say, "Stop, stop," in a gurgle-type cough that mixed with her laugh, though my nervousness always made me talk more. "Didn't you shag with him?" My tone reflected my irritation and a slight higher volume that brought more listeners. Sarah caught one of the onlookers' eyes and magically her laughing stopped. "Kendall, seriously, what?" Sarah leaned over, cupping her hands around her mouth to form a tunnel to my ear. She then whispered, and the faint scarlet that my face had become earlier turned a distasteful color of burning flames. I was mortified, because according to Sarah, shag meant sex. And to high school students, it certainly meant sex in all instances. My mind played back through our conversation, and it didn't sound like innocent dance talk. I left the cafeteria, following the path of nasty puke-colored carpet, listening to the giggles disappear in the background. And that is my story, you guys. I was a very innocent high school student. I had no idea what anything meant when it came to anything sexual. I did not know that some people, or some people still today, that think shag means sex. And, sorry, I'm getting over a cold. And if you clicked on this video because you thought shagging is hard meant something about sex, then you were really wrong. Also, I want to mention that if you are starting collegiate shag and you were having a hard time, I was there. I thought it was really difficult and it irritated me so much that I just didn't deal with it until I guess like 4 or 5 years ago, and now I love it. You guys obviously know my channel, so that's my story. That was my intro to shag in like 2005. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around, and I will either see you on the dance floor or on Instagram.